I know some of y'all remember this phrase, slow money is sure money. But I'm going to tell you, the slow money making days are gone and they're behind us completely. Wealth building has now been sparked and splashed with gasoline, and now you could build money fast. There's no more reason to sit around and think about you can't make it or you need a whole lot of money to build wealth. Now, if you took $13.70 a day, you couldn't afford to buy a house, you couldn't afford a down payment, none of that. $13.70 a day is $5,000. If you would have took that and said, okay, I want to invest and buy me some assets, some tech, some digital currency, you couldn't afford to buy some real estate now. But here's how fast money is changing everything now. If you would, let me get my papers here because I broke some of this down. I didn't want to give y'all nothing here that wasn't looking at myself. So if you would have just took $13.70 a day, which is $5,000, and just said, I'm going to invest in the things I use. What are the things you use? Oh, I'm glad you asked. That's Apple, that's Amazon's, that's Tesla, that's Amazon Prime, that's what else? Google. If you would have just bought those things, and literally 5 years, you would have had made off of investing $13.70 a day for 5 years. Actual factual, right? So now that's one thing. Okay, a lot of people don't know about stocks, don't know about this, and all right, cool. But now there's no excuse now. 5 years ago, maybe. There's no excuse now when you can't turn your little bit of money into a lot of money. And also, let me give you some more. Let me give you a little bit more now. So let's look at this. Let's look at investing into digital currency. Oh, it's the crypto talk and crypto. No, okay. First, let me do this survey. How many people believe that the paper dollar would not exist no more? How many people think that if it's going to go away, it needs to be replaced with something else? That's digital currency. So now that we got that out the way, how many people out there own some of this digital currency? Since you believe that paper won't be around no more, if you would have just invested $13.70 and bought you some of the obvious ones. Well, it's not obvious to everybody. Everybody don't know about it. But I've been investing in crypto for about a few years now. Let's say the Bitcoins, the XRP, the Solanos, the Cardano. Do your own research, right? You would have made 500% return on your money by investing in that. Now just think though, this is only like the peak. We're not even in full swing. Not even full swing. Now, I'm a real estate investor who's still invested in real estate, but I've been selling a lot of my real estate, but I'm still investing in real estate, but I'm not investing in the smaller units like that. But before I get into that, let me give you a breakdown now. I want y'all to think about the growth of the technology and how different generations spoke to you, still speaking to you, and showing you the direction to go. Like, think about this. Like, my dad had a wallet with paper dollars in it. Then I come along, I got a wallet with paper dollars in it. But then I also have a cell phone. Then you have my children after me, they have a wallet, but now they have a cell phone with some kind of digital currency or even credit card information in there. So what do? They got rid of the wallet. Now they just have the cell phone with everything in there, and they're making purchases. So now what do you think their kids are going to do? Their kids are going to they're not going to just have a cell phone with some kind of digital currency in it. They're going to have their own device, their own something that they're using to make purchases. But if you feel the same way and thinking, yeah, that's how technology goes and grows. Okay, so why are you not investing in that technology shift or that digital currency shift while it's so inexpensive? Now, I ain't talking about Bitcoin because people have that story. Oh, I could have bought Bitcoin at $5, $10. Yeah, but there are other coins out there right now that are exploding. I'm not an expert in this space. I know several people, but just for me, for my portfolio, I've had XRP, which was known as Ripple, for at least 5-7 years. Easy, I'd say about 7 years. And that thing was like 3 cents. Now with this new administration, it's up to $1.50. So it's only going to keep growing. You have the other ones, the Ethereums, like I said, look into it. But you have to think about get past what happened with elections or whatever the case may be and think about the administration. And to me, in my opinion, no matter who won, they all had to get behind crypto. Still had to get behind technology. It's just who was going to help push it there faster. That's what it was for me. Who was going to be the one to push it faster? And now if you look, it's being pushed very fast. So this is your time to say, can I afford $13.70? Can I afford to buy me something? Like, there's the school of YouTube to teach you and tell you and talk to you about it. If we just took a little bit of time, and, all right, you know what, I'm not going to get into that, but start doing some more research on it and start building that fast money wealth. Like even in the real estate space, which I mentioned to you guys, I had 43 properties at my height time. I've sold over 31 properties. The reason why, because I feel like where I have properties in certain states, which I had in 7 states, those jobs are going to be gone due to technology. And if you thought it was hard collecting money from people with jobs, imagine how hard it's going to be to collect rent from people that are losing their jobs. And I just don't want to be in that space like that. So for me, it's buying multi-units, bigger units, no less than 4 and up there in 20, 30 units buildings. That's going to be mostly programs. Because one thing that's going to happen for sure, the more people lose their jobs, the more there's going to need to be a program to help people pay their rent, right? So with that being said, you see corporations buying tons of houses, and they're not buying them to be landlords to you or me. They're buying them because they know something is coming. What's coming? A lot of people losing their jobs, but still going to need housing. And the government's going to say, we're going to create a program. Who has hundreds of homes that we can now pay you rent to house these people? That's going to be the Vanguards and the BlackRocks. They're not buying them to now be landlords. They know what's coming. The thing is, we need to see what's coming. So now, for me, it's you not trying to be in that space to think you're going to buy a bunch of single family homes and now you're going to become a millionaire. I don't believe that's ever going to happen again. It's just my opinion, because prices are too high and that cash on cash isn't there just for having rent when you're buying at such a high price. So I would definitely tell you, buy duplexes, buy 4 units. But more importantly, if you can't do that, take your money and put gasoline on it by investing in that new thing that's happening. Because this fast money growth is about to be gone. It's just my opinion. It's not going to be this way for long. Just like how oil was a big commodity and people went out digging for oil and struck oil, bought land, and then that commodity, the government stepped in and took over and said, we taking this oil. Same thing is going to happen. Just like the gold rush. People went out looking for gold, and the people made the most money, by the way, was the ones who sold the picks and the shovels, right? People looking for gold wasn't guaranteed. But those who did strike gold, now everybody's making all this gold, all this money with gold. Who steps in? Government steps in again. Tell everybody, hand in your gold, we're going to give you this tender, this dollar tender. And now gold is a commodity. Real estate is falling in that same commodity space where it's going to be so priced out. Only the elite few will be able to have that thing. But you can literally own companies. You can literally own parts of companies and digital assets that's going into this new phase, this new era. Think about that. Just you can take $13.70 and buy something. Go to the school of YouTube and learn about this. That's all you have to do. The information is out there. You have tons of guys teaching how to buy stocks, trade options. Tons of guys talking about crypto, how to, buy them, which one's this. But our biggest problem is this. One of our biggest problems. Not all of us, a few of us, but many of us. We don't buy something if it's cheap. Oh man, that coin is only 15 cents. How much can I make off of that? But then you wake up and then you look at it and it's $1.15. And it's $10, $15, $20. Then you're going to say, I could have bought it when. Same thing, everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people are saying with Bitcoin. Everybody got a story. Stop waiting for that asset to end up being very expensive. Find the value in the asset before the value shows up. Find the value in the usage of the asset. Then the money will appear. Found the value. Think about that. Real estate value became very high because it was needed to house someone. So that was the usage. think of the usage in this digital, in these companies. And there's a whole, I got some notes and stuff here because I wanted y'all to understand that just changing the way you think will help you build wealth forever and quickly inside your household for you and your family. Now, those that will be doing the least amount of work moving forward in the future, which is literally, happen now, but it's going to be more in the future, sitting behind a desk, looking at a screen, buying, options and trading these things, like doing all this kind of work, these are going to be the wealthiest people in the world. It's going to be no such thing as I got to get up and go to this job. It's going to be very limited going to the job, right? It's going to be very limited usage of people who are going to need to be accountings and need to be the school teachers, unfortunately. Those people who are doing these things, they're going to be pushed out for technology because technology is undefeated. Technology is undefeated. I'm just think about 8-track, cassettes, vinyl, MP3, streamings. There's a growth or progression, and you are literally staring down the barrel of what can be a disaster, or it can be the best thing that ever happened to you. That expression, the light at the end of the tunnel, the light at the end of the tunnel can either be a train or the exit to your freedom where the wealth is there. What does that light mean to you? What is that light? I want you to think about this. Remember the time when they would say, just buy real estate and wait. Just buy real estate and wait. But buying real estate wait days are over, right? We're thinking about when people purchased real estate 20 years ago, like myself, 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago. The returns were there with real estate where you would make a great return and equity growth. Equity growth. But now you're buying at such a top price, at such that high value, that there's very little equity. Even if you're doing flips, you buy it for a low price, you get out a loan, now you fix it up, another loan. By the time you pay the loan, you pay the repair fees back on it to fix that property up. How much money you have left after that ARV and you refinance? You're refinancing at almost that top level. So those 20 years of equity, you're not buying properties for 40, watch them go to 180. You're not buying them for 300,000 and watch them go to 2 million. And even outside of that, the job salaries don't speak to now where you can afford to buy those. But what you can do, you can start investing. And just because someone says, like I would say, buy real estate, doesn't mean I'm telling you to buy a house. You could buy a co-op, you could buy a condo. But the key is you're going to need to own something in this space. But slow money doesn't exist anymore. This new administration just came in. No matter who won, to me, in my opinion, everybody had to go down the path of tech and crypto. It's just somebody's going to push it faster than the other person. And now this administration is showing you they're standing behind it. That everything is blowing up. Crypto's all-time high, $98. So what are you waiting for? I'm not telling you to buy that, but you need to look in those things. Listen to this and say, you know what, I'm going to take some time and let me just look and see where these companies went. Where did Apple go? Tesla go? They're how much, if I do put some money in, and I want you guys to use a compound interest calculator to learn how to use that for how your money could compound interest as you invest. Start thinking about how would my money grow? You don't even have to figure it out yourself. Matter of fact, I'm going to take that back. Use ChatGPT. Say, ChatGPT, if I was to put $13.70 a day into this stock, the Magnificent Seven, which is the group of the top 7 stocks, how much money would I make if I do that for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? What would my return be? Estimate return. Let it tell you how much you would make. Also, you got to cut back on, you got to make sacrifices. Cut back on the things you don't need. I'm a prime example. I didn't need a car. A lot of you do, but I didn't. I had one car that I was paying $1,500 a month lease for 3 years. So that's $18,000 over 3 years, which equated to 8, 16, 24, about $54,000 in 3 years having that car. Took the car back with only 8,000 miles. You know what that showed me? I didn't need that car. So you know what I'm doing? I said to myself, would I have spent $18,000 a year to take Ubers? Nope, I wouldn't have. So you know what I'm going to do? For me, it's Ubers. I don't want to drive. I would take Ubers and spend less than $18,000 a year. Now, some of you need cars. Keep them. But I want you to think about what is it that you don't need. Think about making that sacrifice so you can have a greater return, because this fast flame that's going, this not even a flame, this roaring fire that's happening right now isn't going to keep going for too much longer. So I need y'all to get into it and start looking into it. Before I get out of here, I definitely got to give y'all my recommendation for the must-read book of the week. Like, not even for the week, period. Just put this in your library. The book is, where it's going to be at? It's going to be right here. Who Not How. Don't even, matter of fact, get the audio. Listen to this book. It will change your life. Who Not How is a perfect example of the direction of where we're going and how you build out by having other people be the doers while you're just the thinker. Trust me, it's a game changer for life. Link will be in the bio. It was a pleasure talking to y'all. I need y'all to never forget to always seek knowledge. Peace.